What up, everybody? This is episode 47 of the iLLogical Sense. Yep, 47 of the iLLogical Sense podcast. Right here is Mr. Buzz B. And out in LA is my boy, Mr. JC Nuts.
What's cracking, everybody?
And this is episode 47, but this is kind of a special episode because, like, not only is it kind of like the 4th of July, or 4th of July weekend or whatever, but this is the anniversary of when we started this little podcast of ours.
It's really been that long, huh? It's been a year.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah, man. It's been a year. On the 5th would be a year when you all came and we started this shit. So let's give a round of applause for that.
Hey, man. Big round of applause. Man, I'm actually kind of speechless. It actually slipped my mind. It's actually been a year.
Crazy, though. Brazy, really son. Is. Speaking of Brazy, how's LA?
It's cool, man. I spent all last week getting everything moved in. Had a couple slip-ups with some deliveries, but for the most part, everything got situated, right itself out. Was running back and forth, dog. No joke, I took 5 trips back and forth to Target on Monday.
Yeah, we were talking about that. That's why we didn't really have a show last week, because I know you were settling in and shit like that. But
I was exhausted. And the beautiful thing about it was of course, as I'm moving totes up into my apartment, my hip pops out of place.
Ooh.
Yep. So
damn, man. You should have called me. Man, I should have went out there with you to help you move and shit.
So
man.
I went 48 hours with my hip popped out, but Wednesday I went in and saw the chiropractor. Chiropractor was cool, so that's where I'm gonna be continuing my sessions. And he was able to pop it back in place and went swimming all while I was down here at the 24. Just it's the only exercise I could do for the time being. And just getting acclimated with the community and everything. I mean, where I live at is great. Like, it's everything I need is within walking distance, so it's perfect.
Nice. That's what's up. Over here in San Ho, oh, that was nasty. Yeah. But over here, it's kind of the same stuff. I'm still working, all that other stuff and all that. But I was staying in contact with you, and since you were out there, same old. How's the weather over there? I mean, it's like sunny.
I'm cool because I got the fan and the AC on, but it's
man. So you stupid chilling. Yeah, you stupid chilling.
It's a monstrous 86 degrees outside right now.
A monstrous 86 degrees. Damn. I mean, it's kind of windy over here. Kind of windy. It's kind of just regular San Jose weather. You know how that shit goes.
Gotcha.
It's just a regular ass day.
Right.
But while you were out there, when you moved, we missed a few stuff.
We did. Well, we didn't miss it. We just didn't get the opportunity to have a show about it. But
yeah, exactly.
We were on the same page. We knew what was going on, and I guess it's it's only right that we rewind this a week ago and start off with the BET Awards.
The the EBT Awards, man. I damn near forgot about it. Like I took a day off from work just to watch the BET Awards because I couldn't miss it because the BET Awards has pretty much officially became the award show for the urban community to watch. Yeah, true. Not the Source Awards, not the Hip Hop Awards, not the Essence Soul Train. It is the BET Awards. Everything black you can think of will be on this,
Speaking of the Source Awards, I think the last time we had a Source Awards was when Young Buck stabbed dude for
we talked about that. Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah. I mean, the show, from what I remember, it was long. It was longer than WrestleMania, man. That shit was damn near like 6 hours.
Right.
Shit. But before the BET Awards, what made this shit really special, I guess, and really controversial was what happened on the red carpet with our favorite rapper turned, I guess, news anchor, interviewer, hip-hop analyst, Joe Budden.
Yeah.
When him and Academics and Cutie Patootie, Nadeska Alexis, got into an altercation or heated conversation with Migos for Everyday Struggle. I mean, we all know the story now. The meme's all fucking crazy and shit. But what was your thoughts about it when that shit happened? Or when you saw the clip?
Academics, man, he's got to be the leading candidate for meme of the year. Easily.
Oh, yeah.
Easily.
Oh, yeah.
Just that little thought process of everything, like when Takeoff was, when he asked him the question, he goes, "Do I look like I was left off Baton Bougie?" Go, "I'm sorry, what?"
He said it hella quick, all muffled. Look like I left on Mad Baton Bougie. What?
Huh?
Does it look like I got left out bad or bougie? Come again?
And it just kept going back and forth. And then what made it worse was when I saw somebody post up the Jerry meme on Twitter where he's like, "Nigga, what?" And then seeing academics have the exact same face. Oh my god,
He literally
I lost
did
it.
though. And everyone was all getting in on Joe Budden's thing, and he's the one that started it. But honestly, if you watch the clip, like Joe explained it on his podcast and in person, like he didn't like the vibe that was coming off, and he could tell by them that they weren't a good interview, and he told academics to wrap it up. And academics didn't want to fucking wrap it up. So, Joe Budden doing typical Joe Budden shit, just dropped the microphone and said, "This stupid motherfucker." Pretty much something I would have done.
That's why we have yet to have any high-profile guests on the iLLogical Sense podcast.
I mean, I wouldn't get up and leave. I think I have the ability of getting under people's skin without even trying. I don't know how I do. I'm like Charlemagne. I have the ability of getting under people's skin without even trying. Like I'm not even thinking about it. And I'll just get under their skin and get in their head, and they feel a type of way. But that's a different topic. But I guess Joe, but the way, but the way Joe Budden got up, man, that shit was hilarious.
Nah, it wasn't. He literally just rose up like, "This is a waste of my fucking time. I'm out of here."
Exactly. And then Migos got up, and then you see fucking, who was it, Quavo? Unbutton his fucking...
Yeah. Quavo's with the shits.
He casually just took off. He was unbuttoning his collar or whatever. And then it just kind of got interesting. The academics pushing the desk out the way, and it was just...
Well, what made it more funny to me was that they were all dressed up, nice outfits, and they getting ready to roll they shit up like, nah, hell no.
Yeah, they from Atlanta, man.
Motherfucking line.
They from Atlanta. They ain't about that shit. But I don't know if I sent you that little meme video that Joe Budden posted of with the choir singing in the background, and they show all the reactions. Especially when it zoomed in on Julio Jones.
Yep. Yeah, Julio Jones.
He's like, "What the fuck is going on?" Had that confused look on his face.
Yeah, everything about that was intense, and that wasn't even Migos' only altercation that night.
Yeah, supposedly they got into an altercation with Chris Brown or some shit, which is not surprising. I mean, it's Chris Brown. It's Chris Brown.
Yeah, and given the scenario, it's. I mean, are you really surprised?
Nah, anything Chris Brown does is not really that surprising no more. It's fucking Chris Brown. So it's like, when I read it, I was like, what, did he fight over Carucci? I mean, he probably was. Like, it makes sense. It would make sense because Carucci was there. But as the overall show itself, I mean, the show was kind of blah at first. I kind of passed out when Chris Brown was performing and shit. But then, I don't know. I think during the second half, in your opinion, you said the second half when the new edition tribute and shit like that. That's when it really picked up. Well,
I will say this: there was a funny moment in the beginning when Demetrius Shipp Jr., who played Pac, who was the lady, the girl that he was giving the award with?
I forgot.
Whatever her name is, the one in Dear White People.
Oh yes,
when she was giving her spiel, and then it was kind of like he just left her out to dry. Like, nah, I'm not gonna give you that line, baby girl. You not getting any of this.
Yeah, she cute, man. Matter of fact, all of them cute. But with the award show itself, the performances were cool and all that. Big Sean had a dope performance. I liked his shit.
He had a nice performance. Of course, everybody knows where I stand as far as New Edition goes.
The New Edition.
To me, that was the highlight of the night.
And all the new additions. But Bobby Brown looked like he don't even need the tour. They about to go on tour again. And Bobby Brown looks like he does not need the tour again. I think the alcohol and that life has caught up to him.
Bring Bobby. Bring the bottles. Let's have a good time. You already know I got my tickets. Obviously they haven't come out yet, but I've already got the...
but you already got the tickets.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I already got my ticket. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it ain't out yet, but no, I got my ticket.
It doesn't even say, it's not even at the Staples Center. It's like I just got my tickets, bro.
Oh, yeah. It's over there on at the Western Forum? Cool, I'm there. Oh, you holding it on Mars? Oh, yeah, I'm there too.
I'm there.
We there.
I'm like, but there's going to be holograms. I don't care. They're there. I'm there. Fuck it.
So definitely that was the highlight for me, but I think one of the biggest moments that we need to appreciate was Chance's acceptance speech.
Oh, yes. Chance. He got 2 acceptance speeches, man.
Yeah.
What he won for best? He won for Yeah, he won for best new artist.
Best new
and then
artist.
he got. And then he had a fucking, and then he had a special lifetime achievement award or some shit like that. Someone on Twitter said, "What the fuck? He won Rookie of the Year and then got inducted into the Hall of Fame on the same show." Like that was crazy. Shout out to Chance, man.
Yeah, definitely.
He's doing his thing. But everyone knows the highlight
humanitarian award.
Yeah, the humanitarian. They say he was like the youngest person to ever win that.
Right.
The youngest person. But apparently, the biggest award of the night, it was the best female rapper award. Yeah. And pretty much, like I said a few episodes back, that was going to be the passing of the torch.
Oh, yeah.
Because the person who always wins that award is Nicki Minaj. I mean, it's true. Even when she didn't drop anything, Nicki always won that award. Always.
And in the beginning, it was well deserved. But after 2 or 3 years, it's like, all right, really, she's the only one.
But to her credit, there was no competition.
No competition sales wise. If we're talking sales, that's the only. Rhapsody's been putting projects out the whole time.
Or relevance. There was no one of relevance to outdo her.
Right.
I mean, Charlamagne made an argument saying Iggy Azalea should have won that award a few years ago.
Honestly,
when she was popping with.
Honestly, you could make the argument.
Yeah, he said that she should have won.
As crazy as that sounds, you actually could make the argument
because she was popping,
right?
And Nicki, but who won is it's not a surprise on who won, and I was happy as hell. I was watching at home, and I was watching that shit, looking at it like, come on, say her name, and Remy Ma won.
Yep,
I was like, Remy Ma. And my mom looking at me like, why are you cheering? I was like, it doesn't matter. I'm just happy. I was eating some KFC. I was happy as hell. So
all that good chicken, man.
Oh man, but I was generally happy, and she dissed Nicki again.
Yeah,
when she got her award.
That acceptance speech was actually as hip hop as it could be because it was a thank you acceptance speech, and then it was also using the platform to take some more shots. I like that
exactly because Nicki's still taking more shots.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So of course, what Nicki did right after that is that she went right into the NBA awards that Drake hosted. And you didn't watch it because you were moving.
Nope, but I didn't have cable, and I was glad. From what I heard,
yeah, you're glad you didn't.
I was glad.
You didn't miss much. Her performance was trash.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, no, it was trash because she performed that Realize track with 2 Chainz, and then she did fucking No Frauds, and pretty much everyone in the crowd was just silent. They didn't really give a damn. It was the wrong platform. Not a lot of people watch the NBA awards compared to the BET awards, and not even Drake performed with her. So she just looked stupid, and it's just like, man, it's just stupid. But speaking about the NBA awards, shout out to Russell Westbrook finally winning that MVP.
Westbrook,
it's kind of bittersweet because he got the league MVP and Kevin Durant got the Finals MVP.
I think what I was telling somebody the other day though. I think obviously it's for the situation was for the better because remember, Westbrook kept getting blamed for everything that went wrong with OKC when KD was there.
Yeah.
Now it's a situation where even the naysayers are riding his nuts, and it's like, yo, he's been this the whole entire time. It wasn't his fault that KD didn't, why they didn't get the title while they were together. So I think if anything, this was, granted, you're right, the championship's the ultimate goal, but I think for him, this was actually more significant than either of us can actually imagine, because this was this was the final say. Like I've always been here. I haven't just arrived. I've always been here, and this is validation to show that.
So, it is what it is. But what else happened? What has happened to the BET Awards? What happened to the BET Awards? I was nothing else really popping happened except for Remy. But and Nicki's exes were fucking fighting each other for whatever fucking reason. That's still
as confusing to me as the first time I saw it. I don't know what the hell was going on. I didn't know
what was going on, and Safari still didn't get no scratches, but when you see the fucking video footage, it's something out of a fucking wrestling shit. Like you look.
Yeah, Meek just gets out the car and all of a sudden, and shouts out to the cameraman. He got everything.
That's why I kind of feel it was staged, damn near. Part of me
Maybe.
feels like it was staged.
But our
for our
entertainment.
entertainment.
So, it was good entertainment.
I mean,
so I'll take it.
nothing really came of it, and it was just stupid. It was just retarded. It was whatever. But oh yeah, also during BT weekend, Eminem grew a beard. Yeah, they had all those fucking he went to all them what was it? He went to that premiere for that the Deviant ones, the Jimmy Iovine and Dr. Dre documentary. Yeah, and I guess for whatever reason Eminem said fuck this.
You mean the Defiant
ones. I keep fucking up names, man. Fuck me. But nah, the Defiant.
I was like the definite ones. What the hell are you talking about?
Nah. But the Defiant ones. Fucking he grew a beard, and I guess it was the talk of the story because we'd never seen Eminem without a beard before, with a beard before,
right.
And it's a full grown beard. He just said, you know what, I am in my mid-40s now, fuck this shit.
I mean, might as well, shit. Like you said, you're in your 40s. I mean,
Yeah,
but you're gonna be babyface your whole rest of your life. I mean,
yeah,
come on, man.
pretty much.
Let that shit shine from a member of the exclusive club known as Beard Gang. Let that shit rock, man.
Hell
Let
yeah.
it rock.
And on top of that, Rihanna got herself a nice little billionaire boo. Have you seen that? Yeah,
I've heard about that. Nah, I've heard. I haven't.
Yeah, because
obviously
the timeline
been
just
out
went
of the loop
fucking
for a
crazy
while.
because these pictures came out like this. I don't know what was more crazy is Rihanna just fucking making out and fucking the dude in the fucking pool, or the paparazzi dude who took these creepy ass pictures by the pool. I don't know, but apparently this guy's some billionaire out in the Middle East or some shit like that, and he used to be tied with Naomi Campbell and shit like that, and Rihanna's just having fun, man. Like Wild Thoughts is popping off on the radio. Females just love that song. Honestly, Wild Thoughts is the fucking anthem of the summer. I was at the club and they played that shit. Man, females were just shaking their hips to that shit.
Right.
But to more important things.
And then, we'll get into the biggest moment up until Jay dropped, which was Power is back. Power is back.
Power.
And I'm so glad.
Big rich town.
So glad. And I just come from the poorest part.
Late night.
Yeah, the first episode, so the season opener was everything you could have wanted and then some.
Yeah.
They didn't. They touched on everything that's going to take place over the season. They didn't go in too deep. They just left it at the proper time frames. And for the first time in this series, we are now seeing a hopeless ghost.
He's in jail, and his lawyer told him, I'm still calling him Turtle, because that's who he is to me. I watched Entourage too much. He's Turtle to me. But Turtle pretty much told his ass, like, don't be Ghost. You are James. So he has to be a bitch. Pretty much.
Yeah.
He can't fight back. And God rest his soul, Charlie Murphy! A very skinny and frail Charlie Murphy. Like that's when he was battling leukemia. He's on this.
Talking about making a comeback after you've made your grand exit.
On Power.
Like he made his grand exit some months ago, and we was like, oh man, okay, that's it.
He's
Next
on
thing
Power.
you know, Charlie Murphy pops up on my screen. I'm like, oh,
It was kind of crazy when I
from
saw
the
Charlie
skies
Murphy
above.
pop up because I hella forgot he died. I was like, oh shit, Charlie Murphy. I was like,
Right.
oh shit, Charlie Murphy, huh? I was like, oh yeah, he's dead. Shit. Then I felt sad.
Yeah. Yeah. But something also that popped up was the return of Lala.
Yes, and apparently she was.
Because everybody thought she got snuffed out at the end.
Yeah,
of season
I thought
3.
she was dead. We all thought she was dead because when we saw what happened, like Tommy just popped up in her spot. He had this little creepy look on his face, and then that was that. And then we didn't hear from her again. And I was like, okay. And then all of a sudden, in the beginning of season 1, in the next season, episode 1, you see her. She's at some penthouse or whatever, hiding.
Yep. Well, I had an idea that she wasn't gone. Just when you think about how everybody goes back to their teenage years, and then there was no talk of her.
Yeah, and she was still promoting it.
Like,
she was hella promoting it. So,
right.
And then I guess her, Lala, and Tommy are getting it on. And then she even asked about Holly, and he's like, "Oh no, she long gone." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I keep forgetting that bitch is dead. Choked the shit out of her."
She is using Lala is using this TV series to get back at Melo.
Well, apparently they're back together, supposedly.
Exactly, but there's still some get back that's clearly being gotten at this point.
True. But it was even more. I think right now, online, everybody just wants. I think the common consensus is that everybody wants Angie to die for whatever reason. I honestly don't really care about Angela dying because you knew who she was from jump. And everybody told Ghost from jump, do not fuck with this bitch. She's a cop. Even when Tommy found out, do not fuck with this bitch. His wife, even when she found out, you need to stop fucking with this bitch. And what he kept doing? Every episode in season 3, it got annoying seeing him fuck that bitch every single fucking episode. It wasn't even getting me horny no more. It's like, you still fucking this bitch, bruh? Dude. So when he got caught. When he got caught by Angie, I was like, that serves you right. Now everybody wants her to die.
It's like, what you expect?
Exactly.
She's a cop.
Y'all want her to die. Like, for what? You know who really needs to die? His son, Tyreek. That little motherfucker. Ever since he started getting a smart mouth and started talking back to him and kicking it with 50 or Kanan or whatever, he just got on my motherfucking nerves. There's something about him. It's just, he's just a fuckboy. Every time I look at him, I want to snuff him. Even though he's like 17, I'm a grown-ass man. I want to snuff this little shit. Even when they post his little picture, his little acting picture of him just kind of folding his hands, looking at the camera, he just looks like someone that's going to snitch on you. He needs to get snuffed. Sorry, he needs to get snuffed.
Well, we're going to see how that plays
we're only 2
out.
episodes in, man.
Like I said, I like the direction so far. The second episode that just dropped last night definitely has set the bar even higher than the premiere did as far as what's going to take place in the coming weeks.
I believe that.
I mean, man, it's honestly, my eyes have been actually glued on the mobster that's in jail. Yeah. I wonder what his role is going to be, what it is overall in the overall picture. Like they're just planting little seeds here and there, but that's actually who has my eye so far this season. I want to know what his role is going to be in the overall picture. For real.
I'll give you on that one. I don't know what's going to go down, but we just got to keep watching and see what the fuck happens. Hell yeah. But and then one more thing. I don't know about you, but I laughed my ass off when Tommy put old boy, held him at gunpoint, took him out of his car, and then ran his ass down with his own car. Cracked his legs. Hell yeah, that shit was hella funny.
I laughed like hell.
Chased his ass. This is just episode, and even I watched the on-demand shit, and even the director, the writer said that was one of her favorite. That's her favorite season out the whole season, of him just chasing him down and running him over with the legs and shit.
Because he did it so nonchalant, like it was a video game,
like some Grand Theft Auto shit. Hella calm about it too. Shit.
Right.
Oh yeah, speaking of movies and shit, I got a movie you should go see whenever you have the time. Baby Driver.
What's that?
You heard about that?
Is it good?
Yes, it's good. It's a good movie. Hella good. It's like it's that guy. It's that white boy from Farrell's. Like, what's it called?
I know who.
Okay, everyone's in it. Yeah. It was really good. It was really, really good. You should go see that shit. Yeah.
Okay. There's a movie theater in the shopping center right down the street.
Oh wow, so you have everything over there. You are not playing.
I'm telling you, everything I need is in that shopping center. I think it's a Regal. I don't know.
It's a movie theater.
It's a movie theater that plays all the movies.
Shit. So we missed a few albums. Before we get to Jay, we got to talk about all the other albums that dropped. So let's start at Khaled. Let's start at Khaled.
Yeah.
Oh no, let's start at Vince Staples and then build up. Yeah. Okay. So what was Vince Staples was Fish Theory. Yes.
Fish Theory.
And this really caught me by surprise when I listened to it. Because I didn't listen to no singles. I didn't listen to nothing else. I remember, what's it called? What was his last Summer 13 or whatever? His last one? Summertime 06. Yeah, when I listened to that, I was like, okay. So I was kind of feeling, okay, this is what I'm going to expect. This is a sophomore album. I listened to it, and it caught me off guard. I was like, whoa, okay. I was not expecting this.
There's definitely some big sounds, some experimental sounds, but some big sounds.
Yeah, even Kendrick was on there.
Yeah, that's the thing these artists are starting to do now. I think everybody's taking notice of what Travis Scott did with his track list on Birds.
Yeah,
Sing,
he didn't put the features.
Birds in the Trap Sing McKnight. Right, because I'm going through this, I'm like, Juicy J.
Kendrick Lamar. Ooh la
Kendrick
la.
Lamar. A$AP Rocky. Ray J. Well, and then I lost with Ray J. I was like, Ray J, what the fuck is this nigga doing on here?
You sound like Marty McFly in Back to the Future Part 2. Ooh la la. Ooh la la.
Right. Yeah. But I enjoy it. Like I ride with Summertime 06. This is definitely something to add to the list. Big Fish, of course, set a nice tone. Crabs in a Bucket obviously was the opener, but I think with intros, it's not necessarily here to miss. It's just one of those ones just to get your mind wrapped around. Big Fish for me was the one that actually set the tone. Like, okay, this is where we're going with this. And then 745. That's a monster in the making. And of course, Right was already good, 2 minutes in, and then you find out 2.5 minutes in, it's got a Kendrick Lamar feature.
And he was,
like,
what the hell
just happened?
He was still rapping like he was on that damn flow, so he was just spitting.
Right.
It was just, and like the whole album was just really just, it was like only 10 tracks, right? Or 12. Yeah, it was 12 tracks. And it was really just, it was interesting. It was an interesting listen from beginning to end. To me, it was.
I'm liking these artists putting out these 35 to 50-minute projects. Like it's not too long,
it's not too short,
definitely not too short.
It's just right. It has just a amount of hits.
It's just right, and they're making their time count. You know what I'm saying? Like we're in a society now where YouTube and Vine used to.
It lives on in Twitter.
But social media. But social media in general, where the attention span is, on quick videos and quick music in the background. And I think artists are starting to capitalize on that, where it's like, unless it's, something thematic where, you need the skits and all that jazz to play through, let's just get to the point. And I'm here for it all. Vince Staples definitely came with it on Big Fish Theory, and it was a good listen. Definitely gonna be adding.
It was interesting to me. It's probably not something I'm gonna go back and listen to it all the time. But on first listen, it was interesting. It was an interesting listen, and I was kind of taken aback because I wasn't expecting that from him off his second album.
Right.
I've been watching his interviews though. You should be like whenever you have the time, watch his.
He's intelligent.
My nigga.
He's very very intelligent. He was on Highly Questionable last year.
My nigga. Keep talking. I'm gonna tell you this shit.
Yeah, he was on Highly Questionable last year with Dan Le Batard, Bomani, and Poppy, and he was giving some really insightful answers to the questions. He's definitely somebody you gotta
watch his
pay
Hot
attention
97 interview. That one was dope. But the funniest shit he ever said was on Everyday Struggle during BET Weekend. This nigga goes and says, because he said he was always downloading his albums because he didn't have enough money to buy albums and shit. So he said he used to have MP3. So when he listened to College Dropout, it just had the names. And he said for the longest time he thought Raw Digga was Consequence on what's it called? He thought Raw Digga.
Oh no!
He thought Raw Digga was Consequence on Spaceship.
That's what she was talking about when she was laughing it off on Twitter.
That. I cried. JC, I literally screamed because he said it so nonchalantly and calm. And Joe Budden just got up from his seat and just walked off the set laughing his ass off.
Oh, so Joe Budden's been walking off set.
But this
for
one was more of a
right
he loved Joe Budden. He loved Vince Staples because Vince Staples.
No. I'm saying it as a joke. Like he's been walking off sets.
Yeah,
for the past
but Vince
Staples
gets it. He's one of them niggas. Like if you see him in LA, you got to dap him up for me. He's a real nigga. So when we talk about an artist who has short albums, then we're gonna go to somebody who has
and then we get into
compilation albums.
DJ Khaled,
woo, nigga, and his album Grateful. And as I predicted, he had 23 tracks, and I knew only half of them were gonna be smackers, and I was right.
Yep, that's basically what it was. That's what we've grown accustomed to.
At this point, Khaled needs to just condense
the
the shit, man. He shouldn't need to be putting all those tracks on there. Because the only ones that are going to be popping are the singles. So, like...
So, let's go down the list. Shining with Beyonce and Jay-Z
you forgot the intro. You forgot the intro.
After you...
I forgot about that, yeah.
Shining with Beyonce and Jay-Z. I mean, the name's it sells itself, but the allure behind the actual music, it's like
Yeah.
nothing major here. To the Max with Drake. I don't even know why it's on here.
Because it's Drake.
Wild Thoughts. Honestly, I understand the potential, and I get that it's going to be big, but the song didn't do anything for me. And then we get to I'm the One, and it's gonna be a mega hit by the names, but again, it
really fizzles out. Yeah.
Me. Now when we get to On Everything with Travis Scott, Rick, and Big Sean, that's actually the first track out of this album where I'm like, yo, okay, this is replay value. They came with it on that one.
You know what? Yeah, go on.
It's Secured is nothing close to Nas' album.
Hell nah. It was just an experiment. I think Khaled just wanted to see if it was going to work. With Travis Scott.
That was nothing close to Nas' album.
Nothing close.
But it is what it is.
Honestly, the Nobody song with Alicia Keys and Nicki Minaj, that was a decent Nicki verse. Decent.
This is why it's actually frustrating when it comes to Nicki Minaj, because you have, which we get to later on, which is I Can't Even Lie, and it's complete garbage. But then you actually have a song that has a nice soulful production, a well-respected vocalist and pianist, and there's a concept. So whenever she is put on a track that has a concept, her skills fly right off the chart. And it was
nice and short.
Like her
and the verse was
nice
and short.
Right.
And she said what she had to say, and then she just left. And I was like, even when I was listening to it, I was like, because I was liking the song, I was like, don't fuck this up, Nicki. That was my first thought in my head. Yeah. Do not fuck this up. And I was listening, and I was bobbing my head. I'm like, okay, Nicki, you actually rapped. And then, like you said, later on, I'm hearing that song with Future with I Can't Even Lie, and I can't even lie. That shit was garbage. Just trash. Just trash.
But the track before that, yo, man, Calvin Harris is on a roll. Yeah. Calvin Harris is on a roll. Don't Quit is a dope track. I don't know if it's just a summertime track.
It sounds like a left-off from his album, to be honest.
Yeah. Travis Scott and Jeremiah, they mix and they vibe.
But you forgot when we go back, we could talk about I Love You So Much with Chance the Rapper. That was like
that one. I respect it because I know what it stands for, what it's about. That's another one though. I was just like, okay, that was a nice one-time listen.
Yeah, unless I have kids or something.
Pay much attention to it.
And then after that, when we just go down the list, it's just a whole bunch of filler.
Down for Life was filler. Major Bag Alert. I love Migos. But
Good Man was decent.
But honestly, Good Man and Billy Ocean should have been pushed up higher on the track list.
Should have been. Hell yeah.
Like, both of those tracks were dope. They both should have been pushed up.
Yeah.
That's the thing with Khaled albums. Like, you got 23 tracks on here. I mean, we really only need like 14 or 15.
Even that, maybe even 10 or 11.
Nah, not with a compilation album. Compilation albums, you have to have some leeway.
At least 13.
You're with a compilation album, I expect tracks that are going to be filler, just because you're trying to compact everything. So I don't look at compilation projects the same way as solo projects.
Or at least 10 songs, maybe.
Yeah, like of course this was going to need at least 10 songs, but I would say if he were to put on 14 to 15, maybe even 16, I would have been fine with it.
But it's.
But once we get done with that, Pull a Caper, I didn't really. Pull a Caper was actually pretty interesting.
Who's on Pull a Caper?
Kodak, Gucci, and
I skipped
Rose.
that shit.
It's interesting to me because on one hand, Kodak's voice was annoying as hell. It is annoying as hell, but on the flip side, the vibe of the track and how it matched the track, like it actually fits. So it's like it's one of those conflicting things. After that, I completely faded out until we got to the final interlude, which featured Belly.
Oh, yeah, that was pretty decent.
Belly was spitting.
Yeah, he was. That was a track that should have got pushed up more, too.
Right.
You know?
And then after that, you got the generic Movado feature.
Every time.
Mavado's
the new
always
Ace
going to
Hood.
get play on DJ Khaled
Mavado is
albums.
the new Ace Hood. He will make sure you will hear
Right.
a Mavado track on every fucking DJ Khaled record, man.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but DJ Khaled, it's. I mean, he got the number one album of the country. He went number one for now.
I mean, he did something,
Hey,
right?
he was pushing the shit out of it, and everyone held the kid. And shout out to Assad. Well, if we could continue with compilation albums, Calvin Harris, Funk Wave Bounces Volume 1. Even though Hov took his shine, because I now understand why all these artists moved their releases back, because they knew what Jay-Z was going to be. Whenever you guys have a time, y'all need to go and listen to this album. If you want a summer, if you are barbecuing during this 4th of July vacation that you guys are having, or you're just riding around on the beach, or you're with your loved one, or you just chilling, you need to bump this shit. This is a summertime album, period.
It's great. There's very little to dislike about it. Of course, months ago, we did a song of the week, and I think I don't know if I broke.
No, you didn't break it, but it was you. I remember you played it. Yeah,
right. And so from that point on, I was like, okay, I'm ready for this project, man. We get to cash out, and there's literally no drop off. It just if anything, it picks up.
Heat Stroke was.
Dram, and again, when he performs to his capabilities, his potential, I acknowledge him by his artist name. So Party Next Door came with it.
Wow, you called him Party.
I called him that every time he comes with it. When he comes with it, I acknowledge him.
Yeah.
No, it's not when he tries. It's when he comes with it, because he also tries when he does bullshit, and I'm not going to acknowledge him for that. Heat Stroke was alright. It was cool. Rolling.
Oh, Future and
Khaled. That's actually a good mix.
It was a smooth, and the way the record went and shit, smooth as fuck. It was a smooth record, very smooth.
Definitely.
Prayers up.
Prayers up. Travis Scott's getting a lot of burn on these compilations. Prayers up, I liked. Holiday was cool. But again, this is where we get to Nicki Minaj.
Skirt on him. Skirt on me.
What's frustrating? Yeah, because Skirt on Me is a dope
I didn't
record.
like the rapping part. But the other half...
The rapping part was whatever. But because she came with it to start the song off, didn't do anything unnecessary, played her role. The rapping was whatever. Like it's not. I'm not gonna discredit it.
Yeah.
It is what it is. And that's what's so frustrating is she goes away from her strengths to try to capitalize on stuff that's not her strengths. Like going after trying to attack people with weak ass bars. That's not a strength. I'm not. Her fans and her stans are gonna ride with her, but
us.
The rest of
hip hop really does not give a fuck.
Right.
And she when she's actually on her shit and she's focused, she's good. Like she's really good. People were telling me when I was listening to it, because I guess I've been going in on Nicki a lot lately. I guess Nicki's the new Drake now for me.
Right.
They would say like, "Oh, just skip the Nicki track." I was like, "No, I actually fucked with it. I actually liked it. They should actually push it."
Yeah.
It's a good record. And that's when Nicki actually tries. When she tries, then the records are cool.
You get those results. I mean, it's pretty
or maybe
simple.
she just went through her fucking, her book bag and saw one of Safari's rhymes and just figured out a way to do it.
Maybe. I mean, the production is on some reggae Caribbean type, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Feels with Pharrell. That's my shit.
Feels was cool. I like that. The surprising one for me though was
you were surprised at Kalani. Well, probably Lil Lottie's shit.
No, I was surprised with Yachty. I knew Kehlani was going to bring it, but Yachty actually flowed extremely well with the production. Yes, he did. And when I say he flowed, like his whole vibe, his voice actually matched the production, so it didn't sound out of place. and then his actual flow on how he spit his rhymes were actually complimentary to everything. Like, I was actually pretty shocked. Yeah. And then Hard to Love, which, you know, everybody says that Jessie Reyes is what Kehlani would look like if you rinsed her off. Oh,
that's her? Wow.
Yeah. Wow. She came with it. So, I mean, overall, Funk Wav Bounces, I don't know if it's necessarily a summer-only type of album, but for sure, it's going to get repeated value until it don't get repeated.
Yeah, he going to win some Grammys out this shit. He best win some Grammys.
Hopefully.
You know.
Hopefully.
Speaking of Ho, we might as well just get to the coup de grace. This whole shit.
And, of course, the major player of the last 2 weeks in terms of music
is the Jay-Z, Hova, Sean Carter, whatever you want to call him.
Hov
Forty Fo. That should have been the title of the album. Hov Forty Fo. That's what we should call this. Hov Forty Fo. We'll see how this episode goes off, but 44 44. Hov 44. This what I came into this album. You know, leading up to it, I decided to not make a mistake. Because you remember when leading up to Damn? Remember how I told you I was listening to all of Kendrick's shit leading up to Damn and shit, and then I listened to Damn and I was just taken aback. So when I was seeing the commercials for it and I was seeing the build up, I'm thinking, okay, this is going to be a very different Jay-Z album. Let me kick back. I'm not going to listen to no other Jay-Z album. I'm not going to listen to Reasonable Doubt. I'm not going to listen to Blueprint, Volume 1. I'm not going to listen to none of that. I am just going to take this album for what it is. So everyone got their everyone got their title accounts. Like they,
not me.
You know, you listen.
I borrowed yours. Not me, but I borrowed yours.
You don't want to support black businesses, huh?
Well, when you do a move, your money's all strapped up and you're tight. So I'm tight for the next couple months. But so for me going into this project, everything was starting to look like Magna Carta Holy Grail, and I was like,
how did you think it was Magna Carta Holy Grail? Just off the commercials and shit? Like how?
I wasn't paying attention to the commercials. It was just how they promoted it. It was the same thing. Sprint.
Well, it was Samsung.
Title, exclusive for like a week or two, Samsung. Just the whole thing. And that, of course, they did that with Magna Carta. So you're just like, oh, I don't know. I mean, I liked Magna Carta on the first listen, but you go back and listen to it again. And
I still like the album.
It just sounds like an album that was created for
Yeah, you tell me that. But I still like the damn album, man. Shit.
I like tracks. Don't get me wrong. I like tracks off the album, but again, when you go back and listen to it years later, you're just like, damn, how much money did you actually make? Because these are just ad placements.
He got himself.
Like,
he made sure Samsung bought 1 million copies, and he went platinum on the first day. So hey.
And again, I'm not questioning that, but at the same time, if you hold artists like Nicki
accountable,
and accountable, you got to do the same for the juggernauts.
I do it for M. I do it for Nas. I got to do it for Hov.
Right, so going into this project, I'm like, okay, so I was on the same frame as you. I'm not going to listen to nothing. When it drops, we'll see. And
when it dropped on Tidal, I remember I sat back. I'm like, okay, let me listen to this. And it was not what I expected. And I said straight up, I told JC that Kendrick is gonna have album of the year after we did Damn. And you know, we did a whole episode dedicated to Kendrick. But then after the episode, JC just told me, yeah, you shouldn't have said that. I'm like, what do you mean? Well, you know, the year ain't over yet. You don't know who's going to come out. Now, I knew Hov was going to come out. Pause. Like, I knew he was going to drop an album. I didn't know when he was going to drop the album. But I didn't think he was going to hold a candle to Kendrick Lamar because, you know. But I should never... times change. Right. I should never, ever doubt Jay-Z. This out...
I don't think it's necessarily doubting. I think it's just more so with just recognizing the time. I mean, it's like comparing Kobe in his second to last year with, like, you know, Steph Curry, LeBron. I mean, they have more upside. He's literally reached the end of his career.
Pretty much. And for Jay-Z, what else does he have to prove? Like, that's what I was thinking. Like, what else does he need to talk about? He's rich. He has a family. Has a family.
But apparently he had a lot to talk about.
I did say that he has a lot because ever since Elevator Gate, he got very, very quiet. You do notice that.
Right.
I mean, he would do his little features here and there, but he was not in the spotlight like that. He wasn't doing interviews. He was very, very silent. He was doing his business, but he was silent. And, and then Lemonade came out, and then Beyonce kind of laid that shit out there like, oh, yeah. She kind of alluded that, he cheated on me. And everyone's looking at Jay-Z like, what, you cheated on the baddest bitch in the game? But then everyone was thinking, okay, they're still together. It was probably just a marketing ploy and shit. Well, it still could be.
Well, it turns out that everything laid out on Lemonade
the blueprint for 4 Forty Fo.
Exactly. Like, it wasn't even the tip of the iceberg.
But you want to break these tracks down, or you just want to just talk overall about it?
Yeah, we gotta break tracks down.
So it opens with Kill Jay-Z. And pretty much from beginning... Oh, yeah, also, what we all need to know is No ID, Kanye's own mentor, produced the entire album.
Yeah.
And No ID showed...
Shouts out to No ID for...
No ID showed why he is Ye's mentor. Period. With these soul samples and everything. Shout out to No ID. But it opens with... opens with Kill Jay-Z, and Jay-Z's kind of talking to himself in the third person. And in a way, I kind of caught on to it from the first listen. He is killing his ego.
Right.
He's killing his ego, and like he's trying to tell and he's pretty much saying that I need to die. I like pretty much Jay-Z needs to die.
Yeah, see, going into this, because so on a lesser serious note, of course, this is the album where he brings back the hyphen to Jay-Z. So in looking at the track list going into it, you're like, oh, okay, he's killing off Jay-Z, like he's killing off the Jay-Z without the hyphen. He's bringing it back. And then you actually get into the lyrical content, and you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
The hell is this? This, my man, somebody stole your diary. Like, you need to, what's
pretty
going on
much,
here?
Bruh.
He went in about everything. And that was just the opening track.
He even sent, I don't even call it a shot. He pretty much clarified about Kanye. He said, I thought we did cool by Ye. Like, I thought I was cool by him. And no.
You gave him $20 million without blinking. He gave you 20 minutes on stage.
Pretty
much.
What was
he thinking?
Yeah.
My God.
Just dissed him. I was like, damn, Ye.
And then he just his wordplay with everything. Like, this was I was so taken aback by it because it was just the wordplay. Like, he used breakfast to then illustrate what was going on and what happened with Solange. Yeah,
man.
And then he gets in, you almost went Eric Benet. Nigga, never go Eric Benet.
Yeah.
Well, Eric Benet then took to Twitter. I don't think it was solo influenced. I think Eric Benet's wife at the moment probably heard some of the content and was like, you need to go set this straight. I make you happy. And he goes on and, says, hey, I need some, jokingly says, I need some royalties, this and that, but it's cool. He's a good thing. Well, according to reports, they're saying Eric Benet actually showed up at the Malibu gate ready to put hands on Jay-Z.
Oh, my God. Get the fuck out of here, Eric Benet. Let's just keep...
I don't know how true it is, but that's the word that's running around right now.
Kill Jay-Z set the tone for the album straight up. But at this point, it pretty much lets you know.
Oh, but wait, no, there's one more gem we got to get to, because he even touched on Future.
Oh yeah, it said like you be going to the future watching other niggas play with your son. I was like, nigga, that was Then it was funny because the day after you saw Future posting pictures of him and his son. Which is funny because it's like months ago it was like my kids just got to accept the fact I'm not there, and all of a sudden now you everywhere to be found. It's kind of funny. But anyway, after that set the tone because at that point, Jay-Z was dead. It was Sean Carter. This was a Sean Carter album, so it goes right into the story of OJ, which is a really highlight. This to me, if it wasn't for 444, the title track, this to me would be the Did you watch the video
on this project?
Yeah, yes. The video. Yeah,
yes, I did.
That shit was fucking dope. Like, especially the first thing he said. He just said, OJ said, I'm not black, I'm OJ. Pauses. And you can kind of sense Hov was just looking at him like, okay.
Yep.
Like, okay.
And then he's just giving
game
like
for free.
This whole album was just game for $9.99.
Well, it was actually $11.98.
Or a 30-day or a 30-day trial, whatever it was.
Kind of reminded me of what's it called, Imaginary Player, except a more grown-up version of it.
Yeah, but it's the angle he takes this topic that from that's very interesting, because he doesn't take it from the standpoint of we're getting beat, police brutality, we're being wronged. He's taking it from the angle of we're doing ourselves wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's talking about the fact that, there's people in our community, we make a lot of money, but then we lose it. And most of the time we don't lose it, we blow it.
Especially that part when he talked about when he bought that house for $2 million, and then he waited, and then after that he said, now it's going for $22 million. How do I feel, Dumbo?
Yeah. And then talking about one of the line that stuck out to me is, you want to know what's more important than throwing away money at a strip club? Credit.
He said it so nonchalant.
Like he dug deep in this, and it's again, if it wasn't for 444, the title track, this would be the centerpiece of this project. And
if we continue, my favorite track on this album, because I'm a Stevie Wonder head, I love Stevie, and it actually samples, songs in the key of life. For love is in need of love with today is Smile, featuring his mom, actually, and this was vintage Hov. If I want to get in the mood, I will listen to this track, because Hov was spitting on this shit. And it was like when it got to the point when it got to the third verse out and he just kept rapping, I was thinking he is 47 and he is still rapping this way. He's still
I hope the climate of the culture is on alert right now. You said it best. 47 years old. And, a lot of the youngsters these days, are talking like they don't need to give respect to the elders. But with that, you basically just allowed one of the greatest elders to come in and probably drop the album of the year for our culture.
Like, dead
so step your shit
and
up.
he just kept rapping and rapping. And I was just like he was just the haiku line. Like, my life is a haiku, but it's too much shit to spit in one line. I was like, this nigga, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And the thing, he didn't write this shit down. He thought all this shit in his head.
His wordplay was probably the best I've heard since American Gangster.
Nigga, he was focused, man. And then after that, it goes into Caught in Their Eyes with Frank Ocean.
Well, and I mean, the biggest revelation of his mom's a
lesbian. Yeah,
and how he went about it to, it's everyday. It's everyday struggle. It doesn't matter if you're a damn near billionaire or if you are a billionaire as a part of a couple. You still have issues that normal everyday people face, and the fact that his mom, she was either addicted to drugs or alcohol as a result of wanting to hide, because she felt she was in the wrong, and then him not knowing how to go about it until finally. She finally just came out.
He probably knew the entire time, but Hov didn't care.
Right.
But yeah, that was a real highlight. To me, that was one of the best songs. It's a highlight of the album to me. And then we get into Caught in Their Eyes with Frank Ocean. And what I've noticed throughout the entire album, Hov was talking to the rap game. That's who he was talking to. He was talking to the youngsters. He was like an OG talking to everybody.
This was free game, man. Like, I hope people are really listening. We're listening, are listening, and will continue to listen, because this is a lot of free game.
He was giving a lot of gems especially on Caught in Their Eyes. Even though the beat was kind of, I didn't really like Frank Ocean's hook, but Hov was spitting, of course. And then we get to the real highlight of this album, the title track 444. And you heard the beat, and I'm like, okay. And then when Hov starts rapping, he raps. It was a very different Hov. This was Sean Carter rapping, and he's like, I'd like to apologize to my wife. Pretty much, it's an apology letter to his wife, Beyonce, and he pretty much confirmed that, yes, I cheated on him. He cheated on her. And then it was just, I was listening to him, I was like, oh my God, especially when he talked about, like, he had threesomes while she was at home and shit like that. I'm like, what the fuck? How the hell are you gonna have threesome with two bad bitches and then have the baddest bitch in the game waiting for you?
Yeah, and then what made it. I mean, we'll get to the backstory in a little bit.
Oh,
but
yeah.
just how he was flipping the lyrics to be continuations of Beyonce's songs on Lemonade. So when he's saying, "Please pick up the phone," it's a continuation to her track "Sorry," where she's saying, "He trying to roll me up, I ain't picking up."
Yeah.
So it's continuations, like there's just layers on top of layers. Where I went back over the weekend and I played back Lemonade because for as great as Lemonade was, and I will, to the death of me, I will fight for Beyonce's
Beehive.
her honor as an artist and all that. You know, she's not necessarily for me, and that's cool because she speaks to women, and that's fine. But I went back and played Lemonade, and you know, just after knowing what we know now off this project and Solange's album, you go back and listen to everything, you're like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
There was layers to this shit, especially when the way he was talking about the relationship. I'm like, okay, this has been going on for a minute. And then I saw this little thread on Twitter, and pretty much the Beehive were pretty much decoding all of Beyonce's music throughout the time. And I'm like, she was talking about Hov the entire time, but she still stayed with him. And it was like his most, and when we talk about the backstory of this shit, I guess we're talking about the interview on Rolling Stone where No ID talked about how him and Hov's, working relationship and how close they got. And he really wanted Hov to open up about this shit. So he told Jay-Z straight up, like, he kept nudging. It's like some shit Jay-Z would probably do to me. Like, he was like, you got to talk to him. You got to talk about it. You got to talk about it.
Right.
So then he heard, what was the sample, if you remember?
The sample was...
Well, while you're looking at the sample...
Late Nights and Heartbreaks by Hannah Williams and the
There you
Affirmations.
go, yeah. And he heard that, and it's about infidelity. So he just said... So he made the beat, and he played it for Hov, and he said, I want you to say everything on this track. Everything will be said on this track, and then that's it. So then he was like... So after that, he played the beat. Hov just looked at him the same way I probably look at JC, like, you're right, nigga. All right. Goes home, and then wakes up at 4:44 in the morning, calls up Guru, his engineer, records the track, and then No ID said he got called into this house, and he got called to the studio. Guru just walked in, didn't say anything, put the song on, and just pressed play. And he said after he heard it, he went and called his wife and told her he loved her and spent the day with her.
Yeah. There's excuse me. There's I will always say this, and this is why I'm so in tune when it comes to music. There's therapy in music. And even in situations where you have something as far as infidelity goes, Beyonce had her opportunities to release that frustration, the anger, the disappointment, the pain, everything into a project that it's going to stand the test of time. You know what I mean? Because it came from the heart, came from the soul. You could feel it. This was on the same level. You felt it. You felt the sincerity in his
He was
voice.
almost nervous. It was nervous. Because he knew he was bearing his soul. And I remember, he had to sit. I bet he said, Jay-Z even said himself, this was the realest shit he's ever wrote. And even I have to agree with this.
I mean, just how he ends with the final words. And if my children knew, I don't even know what I would do. If they ain't look at me the same, I would probably die with all the shame. You did what with who? What good is a menage a trois when you have a soulmate?
Blue.
You risk that for Blue? If I wasn't a superhero in your face, my heart breaks for the day I had to explain my mistakes. And the mask goes away, the Santa Claus is fake, and you go online and see, for Blue's tooth, the tooth fairy didn't pay. Like...
Crazy, bruh.
There's layers on top of layers in those final bars.
Yeah.
And again, it's him just... You hear it. Like, it's him just realizing...
I fucked up.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be the one that needs to explain this to my children when they come of age.
But Beyonce still stayed with him, and he
right. She even
did the background vocals.
She did the backstory. No, of course, but no. She did the backstory on this, right?
What do you mean she did the backstory?
Like, doesn't he have like his little his?
Oh no, she didn't do it yet.
About...
No, that we don't know what's gonna look like. I know what you're talking about, but
Okay.
it hasn't been revealed yet. It could be something different. It could be a video or some shit. But I just made the prediction that it would be some shit. It would be some shit if she said talk to her. I already visualized the video. Like I visualized. You remember Hurt Bay? I visualized that's exactly what it should look like. Beyonce and Jay-Z sitting across from each other, and Jay-Z's just bearing his heart out. That'll be intense.
Yeah.
But we can continue with that. That leads into another highlight of the album.
Family feud with on the Beyonce
vocals,
showing up and providing her background
Hov was spitting on that shit too. He was talking his shit.
Yeah, Family Feud to me is again, all these songs are gems, but and what he explained with Family Feud and it being separation within our culture. The new rappers fighting with the old rappers, and in the end, it's basically nobody wins when the family feuds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much. He was talking this shit on that. Then we get into Bam, and I guess Hov had to Sean Carter had to take a back seat, and Jay-Z had to come back with Damian Marley. That shit was a knocker.
Definitely.
So yeah, it was cool. That was a good track. That's gonna probably ring off in the club. It's probably like the only club banger on there if you really get technical with it. And then we get to another. I think it's a personal highlight, even though it's too short, but I just love it. It's Moonlight. I'm in La La Land. that shit is dope. And he's pretty much, it's like another version of him just talking to the rap game, saying he's like, y'all do the same fucking flows, y'all rap the same way, y'all look the same, y'all spending your money while these other record labels are keeping your money. It's like he's just scratching his head like, why are you guys doing this shit to yourselves? Like, you know? And then another highlight, Marcy Me, which is his ode to the Marcy Projects. Everyone really loves this record.
Shout out to Dream. Shout out to the
Dream. Oh yeah, James Fauntleroy was on it too.
Fauntleroy,
he was on. He did background vocals. I like that. I like that record too. Everyone really loves that record for whatever reason.
It
really is.
Record.
Oh, it is. I like it too. And then we get to the last track, Legacy, where he's pretty much talking to his daughter, saying he's leaving his will. And even though I like this record, Legacy, I don't feel this was the finale record. Like, this wasn't like it didn't feel final. I like it, but it was just like, he needs one more track to end this shit. You know what I mean?
Which is possibly what we're getting. Well, not possibly.
It is what we're getting. We're getting like 3 bonus tracks.
When the physical copies drop, and then when the album gets released on all the
outlets.
other streaming services.
For the first time. That's interesting to me.
Right.
But overall, like, this album, 444, I'm still on the cusp on where to put this, but it's up there with his Holy Trinity, with Blueprint, Reasonable Doubt, and Black Album. It's up there. It's beyond American Gangster to me, because you know me, I like when an artist is absolutely raw, which is why I like Machiavelli, because Tupac was absolutely raw on that. This is why I like Eminem and Marshall Mathers, because he was absolutely raw. It was him at his core. So this is Jay-Z at his most personal core. And it's like, oh my God. Like, honestly, he outdid Kendrick. Even Kendrick had to say he had to call him master. Like, this was crazy. So it's like, oh, you motherfucker, you Hov.
I mean, everybody, as far as the artists who are respected within the industry, they took to social media and were like, can't believe it.
Joe Budden was.
This motherfucker did it
Some
again.
people say that 444 remind them of a Joe Budden record.
Possibly.
I know it's too early, but where would you rank this among his work? This is his 13th album. I know it's his 13th album because it says it on the damn cover.
You gotta give it.
Give it time. I give it time. I knew when I heard Magna Carta Holy Grail, it was nowhere near his Holy Trinity. I knew it was somewhere below. This one is near it. It's like at the doorstep, because everyone, you know how American Gangster is kind of like, everyone always talks about American Gangster, how great it was, but it wasn't really great. This album, it's like, if I hear those 3 tracks, those 3 bonus tracks, then I'm gonna make my decision where I should put it, because it's creeping towards this top 3. I mean, it's no ID, man.
Yeah, this one, again, it's a major player for 2017. Definitely. I don't know where I'm going to put it in his discography, but at this point, it hasn't even been a full week. So I don't think there's
Yeah,
any
that's why
rush
I'm so.
to
That's why I'm so
get into
mad
that.
about all these.
Let the music, just let the music overwhelm you. So that way you hear it enough, and it's like, okay, now we can properly
this
rank
sucks.
it. I don't like ranking stuff. I just don't like ranking stuff.
Oh yeah,
this early.
this sucks because I was just coming off my damn high. Like I was really just okay. I'm gonna be off damn for a little bit because damn was like crack. I was listening to damn like a crackhead. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be off damn, and then all of a sudden this shit comes out. Now I'm on heroin.
Yeah, I mean but again, that's why I tell you. Don't.
Now I don't want to speak too soon now because
know.
now I know that Nas is coming. Nas is gonna drop his album, and I know Eminem is lurking out there.
Yep.
So it's like all the heavyweights, my top 4 are pretty much dropping their albums sometime by the end of the year.
Right.
So shit, man. Shout out to Jay-Z. You showed again why he is
Definitely
one of the greatest of all time. Some people call him the greatest of all time. So Hov Forty Fo. That's what we're gonna call this. Hov Forty Fo. We're gonna spell it like that.
Yeah.
40 Hov 40 and then Fo with a F-O. Fo. But yeah, man, that's Jay-Z, and there's a whole bunch of sports shit that you missed out on. So what you want to touch on your little drafts? Because I know you happy as hell.
We're gonna touch on the most recent, which was Manny Pacquiao got screwed out of that
I
damn
did not
fight.
see the fight, but I heard he got screwed. I saw the highlights and I saw the fucking like the results, and I'm like, they gave it to the other nigga. If you don't think boxing is like wrestling, man, shit.
So the fight was in Australia, or Austria, one of the two. Australia. Okay, so it's being fought out during the daytime over there. They actually showed it on ESPN for free.
Really? It was on ESPN for free?
I don't know if it was ESPN or ESPN2.
It was on ESPN. It had to be.
So it wasn't no pay-per-view.
Wow.
But it definitely had a pay-per-view vibe. You know, the undercards
They were in a
came with
stadium,
it.
a huge ass stadium from what I saw.
Right. The fight itself was amazing. Initially, I thought Jeff Horn was laying it on him, and I honestly was thinking Pacquiao was going to get knocked by the fifth round. And that was the first 2 rounds. After that, Pacquiao came with it. Non-stop. I think it was either the 9th or the 10th round where the ref actually had to come to Horn's corner during the break and was like, you need to show me something, otherwise I'm going to call the fight. Like, that's what makes it so intriguing and like in a way unbelievable.
And they said it was a unanimous
decision. Everything was pointing towards Manny Pacquiao.
And they said it was.
That's what's
oh wow! So they screwed him. They literally
unanimous.
screwed him. Wow.
Yeah.
Even if,
which to me, I was laughing at the whole thing. I mean, yes, he got screwed, but I still don't miss an opportunity to laugh and find the humor in everything. Of course. So I was laughing. Social media was on a frenzy. That made it all much more better. But there's no question he got screwed. But at the same time, he also let Jeff Horn hang around to even get those votes. So you know what I'm saying? Boxing's one of those. It's the sport where it's like you literally got to knock. You got to knock him the fuck out. Which
is why this Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather shit is such a joke to me. Like it's just like Mayweather has nothing else to do, so he's like, you know what? You want to fight me? All right, nigga. I'm gonna give you a lesson. Like I'm gonna give you a lesson.
But I think the obvious difference is that this match was, you know, a good fight. Yeah.
So pretty much it's like
the Mayweather McGregor fight is more so an exhibition. Yeah. Like for this fight, a belt was on the line.
Okay.
So you know what I'm saying. So there was implications. So from a boxing standpoint, this one was in that arena. What's going to occur with Mayweather and McGregor is this is an exhibition, and everybody's glued in. Now we know, for the most part, you know, this should be a landslide. I'm still going to take $1 and put it on McGregor because the odds are 275,000 to 1. So if by fluke he happens to knock him out, I will use my $1 and reclaim $275,000, and I'll be about my business. But we all know what's going to take place. So I mean, that's the difference. Is that one ended up being a joke as far as the result came about. The other one, we're kind of anticipating it kind of being a sideshow, but it's because it's being marketed and and promote it as that, as to why nobody really cares. Like, that's why everybody's interested. It's two loudmouths going against each other. Let's see.
We're gonna see how it goes out, Bill. So
yeah, so that was this past week.
Stay into wrestling and fucking D'Angelo Williams.
Yeah,
you told me about this.
D'Angelo Williams, the running back from Pittsburgh Steelers.
He's
I'm scrolling through, getting ready for our show, just to pick up on some last minute notes through the sports world on ESPN. And lo and behold, I go on the NFL page and I see this motherfucker D'Angelo Williams in a wrestling ring with his hands up. I'm like, what the hell is this? Well, D'Angelo Williams was at Impact Wrestling's Slammiversary 15, and he had a tag match, and his tag team won.
See, I don't watch TNA. Well, Impact Wrestling, formerly known as TNA. I don't watch TNA like that. They're like, I don't know how they are still alive. I give them credit for staying alive for this long. Whatever. Just, it is what it is.
Yeah, I don't know, but hey, man, it is what it is.
Beast mode.
That. And then Marshawn Lynch ended up on a soccer field.
Why?
So they're doing this, it was a charity soccer event. I think it was a charity soccer event. I'm not even 100% sure. But I just know he ended up on the soccer field with flip-flops.
Drop tops.
And
it's on a hot pot.
You can take it from there as far as what you want to do with it. And then he actually picked the ball up and ran it into the net. And then when they threw a red card at him, he popped the red card out the ref's hands and then kicked the ball out. So it was all in good fun.
That's hella Oakland of him, but whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And shouts out to my two guys. We weren't on when the major announcement took place. Derek Carr, congrats on the extension. I went out on social media and said nobody in the league deserves it more than Derek.
You get $25 million a year, though. Shit. Oh.
No. That's where. See this. You got to remember the NFL is different from the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta look at guaranteed money. So basically, the breakdown into it is over the first 2 years, he's pretty much got a guaranteed of $40 million. And then how they go about that is they then break down the rest of the amount in incentives, like a workout incentive, just being on the roster incentive, a base salary, that type of thing. So he's not getting $25 million a year. It's all broken down. And the beauty of that is it's broken down in a way where you still have money, which led to our lineman, Gabe Jackson, signing his 5-year extension either yesterday or a couple days ago. So there's still money left to do that. And importantly, there's going to be money left over to do Khalil Mack's deal as soon as next year. So it was a big-time contract, the biggest contract in the NFL, in NFL history. But there was wiggle room done. He's not making $25 million a year. You got to remember, the NFL contracts, they're not guaranteed. NBA contracts are. So there's that difference. But again, shout out to D, shout out to Gabe. Those are my guys. Very well deserved. And I can't wait to see the money get put to use properly when the season comes around next month. Then we get into the NBA. And we start all the way back with the draft. Now, before the draft started, social media was ablaze because Jimmy Butler had been traded from the Bulls to the Minnesota Timberwolves, which shifted the powers. I don't want to say shifted the powers. I mean, obviously, Golden State's still the team to try to knock off, not only in the West, but in the entire NBA. But there's definitely a shift of power with Jimmy leaving the East and coming over to the West. With a team that already has a nice young core in Andrew Wiggins and Karl Anthony Towns. So they got nice pieces there. Jeff Teague, who played for the Pacers, he signed over. And then Taj Gibson, who used to play with the Bulls and played for OKC, he signed over too. So there's no excuse for them not to make the playoffs this year. I will say that. Now, we get into the draft, and I couldn't have been more pleased with how the draft played out for my Lakers. We got the favorite son. He's staying out here in Southern California, Lonzo Ball. His dad's vision and his prophecy came to fruition. We applaud that man for being in his children's lives from day one. And we didn't even know that until draft night that his mom actually suffered a stroke some months ago.
Yeah, I remember you told me that.
And that's why she's actually been a little distant in terms of, how everybody's being marketed as far as the big baller brand is concerned. Is she had a stroke. And now it makes even more sense as to the character that LeVar has portrayed in the media. When you factor in, maybe he was also doing that to keep his boys' minds focused. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, we understand what happened, and we're gonna continue on. So let me before the media finds out and they just run with it and they ask you questions. Let me just create this character, and the focus will be on me.
Yeah.
A lot of people were saying in the media, he's robbing his sons from what they deserve. This is this moment. But again, you put everything into perspective. Can you really be mad at him if that was his intentions as well? Let's use me as a distraction to get the hindsight off of me, or the highlights on me, so that way you guys can deal with that situation.
Yeah, can we talk about how he was on Raw? You didn't see it. I saw that shit.
Of course. Of course. I just because I didn't see Raw didn't mean I didn't see the highlights. I was seeing the highlights. My boys went to Raw. They were sending me stuff. I saw it.
This nigga,
it was amazing.
Man. This nigga, man.
It was amazing.
He was like he came out from Miz TV.
Came out strutting too.
No, that was such a troll ass run he did, and just rolled into the ring with his foot in the air, and then took his shirt off and did some karate moves.
Took his shirt off and did some kung fu.
And then he was going back and forth. He was going back and forth and shit like that. And you heard his youngest son go, "You better beat that nigga ass. You better beat that." And then WWE got pissed off about that, but.
Like I've said weeks ago, you can only be mad at yourself because you knew what you were bringing on the show.
True that.
It's time that people embrace this big baller brand. Just embrace it. It is what it is. It's self-made.
Well, you know what? Who's not? Well,
it's by a black man. Who would have thought?
He's still annoying to me. So,
Hey, you brought it up earlier. Oh, so you didn't get title even though it's black owned. Hey, I'm just saying, you got to stand by it.
I stand by it. And he's still annoying as fuck.
That's all I'm saying.
So,
but as far as the draft goes, to finish out the draft, I was very, very pleased with Magic and Pelinka's approach. We went into that draft with, I think, 2 draft picks, and we ended up flipping Mozgov's bad contract and got D'Angelo Russell the hell up out of here. Sent them to Brooklyn, and we got another pick for that. And then we flipped 1 pick with the Jazz and got 2 out of that. So we ended up with 4 draft picks that night, man.
Nice.
So everything's looking up. You know what I'm saying? Everything's on the up and up. Paul George ended up getting traded to the most unlikeliest of places.
That, so Russell Westbrook has some help now. He really does have some help. He has some help.
Yeah.
Not enough.
Which is interesting because as far as I see it, both Paul George and Westbrook are pretty much on 1-year deals.
So
in terms of, because they could both be gone after this year. If anything, I'm more convinced that Paul George is out after this year and he's going to be in the Lakers jersey. It's going to be very interesting to see what goes on with Russell Westbrook. So that's something to definitely keep an eye on.
Oh, yeah. And also Phil Jackson's out of New York. Man, I have no idea when I woke up on Twitter and I saw all my Knicks fans. It's funny on my Twitter, all my New York followers and Knicks fans, and how frustrated they are with the Knicks. They hated Phil Jackson more than I hated Jed York. They hated that nigga. And then in the wee hours of the morning, they got word that Phil Jackson's stepping down as what was he? General manager?
He was, I think, president of basketball operations.
It was a wrap. He just stepped down.
Something in the front office. First of all, you cannot convince me that somebody from the Knicks organization did Phil dirty when he was playing with them. Mm-hmm. And Phil swore from that day, I will get a position with the Knicks and I will fuck them up from the inside.
And that's what he did.
You cannot convince me that that's not what took place, because there's no way on God's green earth that a man who won 11 titles as a head coach is falling asleep in draft workouts. Like, there's just...
So pretty much you
no
say he
convince
finessed
me
them, pretty much.
Oh, that was a sabotage.
Yeah, he
that was
Vince
definitely a
Russo'd
sabotage.
them. That's what he did.
It was so... The whole situation was so funny that Stephen A. Smith had just went on vacation.
Yeah, he had to come back just to talk shit.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't have to come back. Stephen A. Smith went on Twitter and said, "I am coming back. This is too important. Hashtag buckle the hell up." And he went on First Take, and it was probably the most entertaining First Take I've seen in a while. It was comedy. It was funny. So, yeah, we had that going on. And, of course, as a result with that, the Carmelo situation is still lingering on. Of course, he still has a no-trade clause in his deal.
So he's pretty much stuck in New York.
No. He has a no-trade clause, which means that he determines if he gets traded or not.
And isn't there a rumor that he's trying to go to Cleveland?
So what's taking place is he is now open to, well, he's been open. He's been open to the idea of having a buyout where the Knicks buy his contract out, and then he signs for, I think, veterans minimum to play with Cleveland. If it doesn't work out that way, he's also put interest in working out something with the Houston Rockets, which would make sense considering now that Chris Paul went to the Clippers front office and said, "Yeah, I'm signing with the Rockets during the offseason. I'm letting you guys know right now, so if you want to trade me and get some value back, go ahead and do it." That's what they did.
You got a good laugh off that.
And Chris... Oh, great, healthy laugh from a healthy place. It was awesome. Yeah, these damn Clippers fans, man.
Yeah. Now you're like in Laker and Clipper territory. So,
well, first of all, there's no Clipper territory. There's just like little spots where Clippers fans show up. There's no Clipper territory unless you go to Anaheim. So Chris Paul ended up getting traded to the Houston Rockets in a deal that set back, Avery Bradley is the focal point for that trade, and two other pieces. And again, Melo's open to that idea, so we're going to see how everything plays out with that. And then, of course, free agency kicked off on Saturday, and Steph Curry, like Derek Carr, seems like the Bay Area guys, they're signing the contracts that break the records in the leagues, because Steph Curry signed for $201 million over 5 years.
Shit.
Got his money. And I couldn't be more happier for him for two reasons. Number one, he absolutely deserves it.
Yeah, he does.
Number two, he has now leveled out the playing field for the NBA, because Kevin Durant a few hours ago just signed his deal, which is 2 years for about $53 million. Which means the Warriors window is at most open for 3 more years.
Staying, everyone's there. Yeah, they're the Monstars.
Everybody's
are reigning
staying,
supreme
but that
in
luxury tax, it's the luxury tax that now has made their window at most 3 years, because they can't pay everybody in 2 to 3 years now. So I'll hand clap to Steph Curry. Thank you for being you. You know what I'm saying? I can separate my hate for the Warriors from giving credit where credit's due. Steph Curry deserves that money and then some. But I also want to thank him, because in about 2 or 3 years, he alone has leveled the playing field for the NBA once again. So you just got to wait this period out. We'll be good after that. So he re-upped. KD re-upped. I think the biggest change of the guard is Paul Millsap leaving the Hawks, and he's now headed to Denver. So he's that. Oh, and then of course Dwight Howard. So Dwight Howard, everybody wanted to blame Kobe for Dwight Howard. Well, Dwight Howard's on his way to Charlotte.
Yeah, I heard about
Atlanta
that.
Didn't even want his ass for a full year.
I really heard about that.
Yeah. Dwight Howard came out and said, "I'm going to start adding 3-point shooting to my repertoire," and Atlanta was like, "Cool, we're gonna send you to Charlotte." And that's where his ass is at right now. So time will tell how some more moves take out and come into play. Kyle Lowry and Serge Ibaka re-upped with the Raptors. And, of course, one of the bigger names, Gordon Hayward, he's still being pursued by his current team, which is the Jet. Well, not current team, but his most recent team, the Utah Jazz. And they're still in play along with the Celtics and the Miami Heat. So time will tell in the next week or so what takes place.
Yeah, man. It takes tell, man, because you really hated Dwight Howard when he was with your Lakers. He was like a cancer to y'all.
Oh,
He
man.
was really like a cancer to y'all.
God. Oh,
But-
man. I called him Band 12. His nickname was Band 12 when he was with us.
Band 12. Oh, ass nigga. I thought it was
Band 12.
shit, man. But, man, that was your little sports cap. Now, usually this is when we used to play stuff, but, shit. Yeah, while you were talking, I have a guest that came into my house, surprisingly. She's about to go to your neck of the woods. I've been meaning to shout her out because she was supposed to shout me out. I shouted her out all the damn time and shit like that. But shout out to my girl Roxy. She's sitting right next to me, right here, Roxy. This mic.
What's poppin'?
Hey,
How's
what's
it going?
up? I've been meaning to meet you. I was trying to get you on my podcast before I left the Bay.
Yeah, scheduling everything just went all haywire and such.
How
and
long
such,
are you in
but
LA for?
A pleasure.
Oh,
I moved
you're
out
officially
here.
down there.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I just moved to downtown LA too. I'm actually going to be there starting the 10th.
Awesome.
I move in on the 10th. So we're going to have to link up and maybe even without Busby.
Most definitely. Definitely, yeah. At this point, it's going to have to take place. But let's get it. It's a pleasure to formally meet you on air, and then when you get down here, we will do the physical meet and greet.
I know, I totally agree. And I'm right now I'm on my Instagram live, so I just wanted to shout out iLLogical Sense.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, right now we're live
Hell
in
yeah.
action in Busby's kitchen.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
This is my
Good
first time
times.
joining anyone else's podcast. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've been. Yeah,
Awesome.
I was trying to get me and JC to get on there and shit like that, but like you said, scheduling conflicts and shit like that. So, yeah, man. But
But it's all good. We gonna get it worked out.
What happened to Ivana? My bad.
we already talked about that
Okay.
last week.
Well, maybe. I need to catch up on last week's episode. So
Yeah,
we'll
we
figure
talked
it
about
out.
that. Still got a lot of love for Ivana.
Shout out
Still
to
love her.
Ivana.
She still got a
Yep.
lot of love and shit. We already talked about that. But yeah, I guess we covered everything pretty much for the nutshell. So everybody, if y'all listen to this on the 4th, enjoy your 4th of July. Fire off all them firecrackers, fireworks, you know, all that shit.
I'm gonna be barbecuing. That's all I'm.
Man,
That's
I
all
wish I
I'm
was
caring
out there
about,
barbecuing,
man.
but you know, I gotta make some money. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'll be doing that
Shit.
too.
But till next time, this is episode 47. Shout out Roxy.
Shout out iLLogical Sense and Busby.
I'm sweating.
I
you
look
dro-
hella greasy right now. I just came from a business meeting. No, I just came from a business meeting trying to get legit packaging labels for my edibles, and I was there for like damn near almost 3 hours. But my edibles are gonna have a whole new look, you guys. I'm breaking bread on my new label, so it's gonna be classy. Yeah.
Hella
Nice.
fucking bread. But till next time, y'all. This is episode 47. Give me a hell yeah. Give me a hell yeah, Roxy.
Hell yeah.
All right, later, y'all.